What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I'm back today to give you guys a review of the Supreme collaboration with Nike on the Zoom Streak Spectrum Plus. These released on Supreme's website on June 14th alongside a black and green colorway. These retailed for $160 and the official colorway for this shoe is white, Habanero red, and black. So the Zoom Streak Spectrum Plus actually released back in 2003 and it was designed by Steven Smith. According to him, this lower profile running shoe was specifically meant to focus on Japanese runners. Fast forward 15 years later and Supreme has brought these back from the archives, basically true to the OG form. So first off, here's a quick look at the box. So this is your standard black Nike shelf style box. We have Nike branding on the very top and then we have Supreme found on either end as well. Opening up the shelf, here we have Nike and Supreme branded paper. As for the shoes themselves, it goes without saying that this is definitely one of the most controversial shoes to release. Some people are convinced that Supreme's just releasing the ugliest shoe that they can just to see if people are willing to buy it. While considering the fact that this colorway specifically pretty much sold out right away on the morning of the release, kinda tells you something. So I'll try to give you guys my most unbiased review possible. So starting off with the base layer of this shoe, this is comprised of mesh which has these flame streaks found along the toe box. So these streaks of flame have this gradient effect to it where it starts off like a yellowy orange and ends up being purple. Wrapping around the edge of the toe box, we have this thin piece of pearlized white leather. On either end, we have this small line of 3M, and at the very center, we have these 5 perforations. This white leather is also found on the sides of the toe box, and then as we progress towards the midfoot, here we find this white leather, but in this case, it sort of has this puffy or stuffed effect to it. We can also see the same leather on the top 4 eyelets. Found on the midfoot of both the lateral side as well as the medial side, we have this glossy red Nike swoosh that's outlined with black embroidery. Running up the center area of the shoe, we have black nubuck. Turning these over to the back end, once again we have more of this black nubuck at the very bottom. At the very center we have Supreme branding done in 3M. Here we have an image of the earth along with Supreme and world famous branding. Above this we have another hit of this white leather with a red Nike swoosh, and then above this we have white mesh. The tongue is constructed using white mesh. At the very top of the tongue we have one of the few modifications that Supreme actually made on this shoe. So one of which is this oval shaped Supreme branding, and then above this we have these 3 small circles, one of which contains a Nike swoosh in red. As for the laces, so this is one area of the shoe that actually really surprised me. So the standard laces on these shoes are white, but they feature hits of silver throughout, which honestly gives it like a glittery effect to it. So I was not a fan of that at all. Fortunately though, they do give you a secondary pair of laces that's done entirely in white. On the edge of the laces it reads world famous. On the interior side of this ankle collar area, this is lined with a very orangey red shiny leather. So this leather sort of has like a sticky feel to it, especially if you wear low cut socks, you can really feel it sticking to your skin. As for the insoles, so they're done in red, and once again they feature that flame graphic, and on the heel we have Supreme and Nike Air branding. So the upper of the shoe sits atop a very thin foam midsole. As this shoe features Zoom Air technology, on the lateral side of the heel we have the Zoom Air logo. Turning these over to the bottom, so here we have the outsole. So the bottom half is done in black rubber, and then the top half is done in this orangey red rubber. Connecting the heel with the forefoot, we have this plastic plate in the center with this purple Nike swoosh. From a sizing standpoint, so these do run pretty true to size. So I got these in a size 10.5, which is my normal Air Max size, but my feet actually measures as a true size 10 slightly wide. So this shoe will accommodate wide footers, and because there's minimal padding found throughout, these do run bigger than your normal Air Maxes. So for me, the 10.5 was perfect from a width perspective, but there was a little bit extra room in the toe box than I would have liked. Sticking with my true 10 probably would have been perfect. Comfort wise, so this shoe is actually very lightweight, and despite the fact that it is pretty ugly appearance wise, these are actually decently comfortable overall. Combining a lightweight upper with a pretty responsive midsole, honestly if there's one thing I like about this shoe, it'd have to be the comfort. From a quality standpoint, these felt pretty average overall. For $160 though, I didn't really feel it was worth the money because honestly the materials were average, the design of this was pretty much the OGs, and Supreme only slapped on a couple logos throughout and called it a collab. So with all that being said, now let me lace these up and show you guys how these look on feet. terms of my overall thoughts, to be completely unbiased, I'd say that there is some redeeming qualities about this shoe, but for the most part, it's pretty bad. From a design standpoint, I'd say that it's a pretty ugly looking shoe, but I know there's some people out there that are just embracing the ugliness. The materials and the build felt pretty average. However, as I mentioned earlier, this is very breathable, very lightweight, and I had no complaints about the comfort. So with all that said, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the Supreme Zoom Streak Spectrum Plus. Is this a contender for worst shoe of the year, or do you guys feel like it's being unfairly hated on? If you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Give me a follow on Instagram as well at sgo8, and check out my website at seango.ca. So until next time, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys in my next review.